Microphone ready. Music beat going. Capture does a flip. Yeah. Okay, we got it. Excellent. Very good. Get the yawn out of the way. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. Big stretch. Ooh. All right. More drink of water, then get going. Excellent. Let's get going. IDK, this looks like it has color to me. Draka! Seeing my tweets. Seeing my tweets coming in. I'm gonna provide context here in a second. Okay, let's get this started. Hey there, heroes! My name is Hero Girl. I'm your friendly local neighborhood hero tuber, and this is the Daily Grind. This is the time of the day where we come on and grind our dailies. Today we got July 29th, 2026. It's a Wednesday. Still on hump day with a U, aka Blue. All right. So like every day that when I go live, I don't do a quote go live post. I just like post a thing while the go live status is on, and then I rationalize, hey, you know what? Maybe that'll get people to notice a lot more rather than just like scrolling past something. I don't know. It lets me be a little gremlin while I'm posting and stuff. But generally, what I'm saying here is that when you're making a mana base in Magic, you've got your primary color, right? Like we've got plenty of blue right here. And then we're playing so many colorless utility lands that it's like we're splashing a second color in, because none of these cards on their own help us cast any of our blue spells, and that does cause friction, right? If we want to hold up the Cryptic command, which has 3 blue in it, we got to make sure we have enough mana to either filter one of these filter lands into it, or else we gotta do some weird tech like this Foraging Wicker Maw to filter it. 100 bits from Lucky. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Lucky. The reason that we're running so many of these utility lands, by the way, is because they are literally free redraws with Matoya. Except they're not really free redraws because of that additional cost of like not helping us cast our blue spells. Wickermon definitely does help out with that, but it makes the sequencing a little interesting. Because it means that if we top deck into just a land, we do get to advance our land space and then also draw a card off of it. Get a little bit of additional. Something like Petrified Hamlet is here because it helps shut off the Strip Mine. Cavern Souls is here so that way we can force Matoya through, and therefore we can like force through some of our cards against control. Ancient Tomb here because it's just like really. But there is a real deck building cost to including cards. Anyway. That sounds complicated? It kind of is. I mean, building decks is complicated, right? Like, learning a game and playing it gets complicated. The more complicated a game can get, the deeper you can dive into it. Simple to learn, hard to master, that type of shit. Except, you know, 100 Singleton formats are definitely not beginner-friendly. Anyway. If you're seeing Matoya, folks, you know what that means. We're going back into the competitive queue today. We're going back into competitive queue because the daily grind gave me a 750 for casting blue. Actually, hold on. I need to double check something. I actually made like one quick tweak to the deck before stream, and I don't remember if I actually like clicked save the deck or not. I cut Elrond for Princess Yue because Princess Yue turns into the moon. Yeah, and then she just has tap Scry 2. And then Matoya here. Whenever you scry or surveil, you draw a card after you finish scrying or surveilling. So this just becomes a 1 mana scry 2, then draw a card. I'm all about 1 mana scry 2, draw a card. Starting to get those little twisty knots in my tummy again. I still haven't figured it out. I still haven't figured out why competitive does this to me. Ah, it's Azusa. This is going to be the Strip Mine deck in question. Harbinger of the Seas helps that a lot. Ooh, we have our own strip. Okay. We draw another land. Unable to scream to slow down. Uza helps a lot. We get to go turn 2, play the aim. Nope, now it's just going to be turn, play, unable to scream. They went and dropped an ancient tomb. And we're just going to pray that we can get this Harbinger down before they get anything. Oh, right, and then there's also Field of the Dead. Okay. Yeah. Unable to scream. Yeah, we're gonna drop the Harbinger. And hopefully that shuts down a lot of what they could do, because they haven't dropped the basic forest yet. Although this searches for a basic forest in play. So they're gonna have at least 1 green. Yep, and they've already got their fetches. Tireless Tracker is a card that can very quickly win the game for them. Because it's just going to get really heckin' huge. Draw all these clue tokens. And using the Witness Protection is not going to do all that much. We're going to get to see firsthand whether Harbinger actually does anything or not. Alright, Mulch. They get more basics. They're not going to have any trouble casting their spells through the Harbinger. But that was always going to be the case. We just shut off their most problematic cards, including their fetch lands. Oh, are they going to try and naturalize the unable to scream? No, they're going to go crop rotation. I don't like that pre-Harbinger. Because what? They grab, the depths, I guess? No, they grab Strip Mine? Normally they would just grab Strip Mine. They might just be grabbing, another forest. Okay, so it is just another forest. Okay, fair enough. Yep, Lotus Cobra makes a mana. Harbinger comes down. Field of the Dead, Ancient Tomb are going to be turned off at least. Tireless Tracker is going to be really fucking big. I need to play Matoya and Witness Protection next turn. Gotta find an immediate answer to that Tireless Tracker. Probably Teferi make a token. If I can just, chump that Tireless Tracker, I'm fine. The biggest issue is currently, them just top decking into, anything huge before I find any sort of protection for it. If they grab into, a Cityscape Leveler or an Ulamog or anything like that, that's a problem. Alright, back to work. Hopefully be home before the stream's over. Hopefully. Yep, I'm just gonna take the 8 to the face. I'm for it. 7. Yep. That's a huge-ass Tireless Tracker, I'll tell you what. I can Witness Protection to, at least keep it from getting bigger. That's a thing I can do. Alright, drop the Scalding Tarn. Here's Matoya. And then hopefully this slows him down. We're not going to attack into the Azusa. Next turn I can play Teferi. I can start dropping another land. I can pray to God that they haven't just drawn something already. Because I still have a giant 5/5 legitimate business person coming down on my ass. I might just even need to the -2/-2 with Fairy, make a chunk blocker. We just don't have the time. I needed a hand that's slightly more protective. Fierce Guardianship. Ah, Vorinclex. Hate to see that. Because now this does just get the transform and drop huge-ass idiots on board. Is, not what we're looking for. I can drop to Fairy. Fairy gets to play a big creature. I can Time Warp, but that doesn't meaningfully do anything for me, right? This Time Warp is not how we went the Time Warp. That's currently 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, mill 10 cards, put 2 creatures on the battlefield. And that's going to be after swinging. 5/5 is also still there. I drop the Teferi and I just get like a 2/2. And I don't think I live like another turn. Because then I have to chump block with the 2/2. Unless they head for Teferi. Alright, let's see if we can dig our way out of this. Rivendell's not what I want. I can play the Foul Watcher and get like another redraw off of that, I guess. That's not what I want. Not even what I need, but... Wash Away, not helping that either. This is gonna be kind of sucky. I can chump the business person with the Watcher, I guess. What would we have needed to find? We would have needed to find... If we could have found something a little bit faster. Out. As it is right now, I kind of need to use the Foul Watcher as my chump. Because the Synthoids can help block the Cobra if I need to, but like they're going to be swinging with Vorinclex and the person. Hero Girl! Teddy, thank you so much for stopping by. We're currently in our first game of the day. And turn 3 Harbinger of the Seas is not fast enough to keep up with Mono Green right now. Although if they're thinking about this, they're vastly considering whether or not they actually want to try flipping Vorinclex. I think Vorinclex just wins the game for them, though. Oh, they're not going to have... Oh, they're just going to go for the Crater Hoof flying. Alright. Yeah, got there. Yep, you get your screenshot. Rip. One step back and then hopefully 2 steps forward. Kept a reasonable hand though, so like, you know, just how it goes. Like, Harbinger is really, really good against the land decks that are trying to use Field of the Dead and Strip Mine. And it gets into Zuza deck. Those are the 2 things you really have to watch out for. Plus, we also had the Strip Mine. Yuffie Kisaragi. This is a deck where we need to kill all the stuff, and we are just not in a good position to kill any of the stuff. Although a turn 2 Disruptor Flute, pretty good. Especially when I've got Force of Will back up here. It's just unfortunate that this is, gonna cause issues. I can into the Flood Maw, though. Let's see. I think I into the Flood Maw here. No, they could force a negation. I should have done this on their turn. Maybe. I think this argument's either way. Okay, they're gonna go Arcane Signet. And then I'm just gonna Disruptor Flute like immediately, I think. Hopefully I draw 1 more blue card so I don't have to pitch this Commandeer, because the Commandeer is a very, very potent card. Alright, they're gonna put 2 on top. This is on their turn. Got Force back up. I will eat the Commandeer if I need to. Alright. We're gonna put this on Yuriko. Tiger Shadow. Now she can't activate Ninja. And they didn't do anything, so they can, like, hard play her eventually. I've got the ability to play Matoya with Force Will back up, which is pretty good. I see the stuff for the Hobbit in the Magic the Gathering channel, and I'm thinking, of course, elves need more ways to turn themselves into mana. I mean, you're not wrong. That's definitely not something that they need. Probably just hit the spell Pierce if I don't have any way to profit off Matoya right second. Fairy Mastermind, that is a problem for me. That is actually a problem for me. Do I get rid of the commandeer for that? I can't use the commandeer either way. Like, I'm just so far away from being able to use it at this point. And the Fairy Macabre is actually, the Mastermind is part of what's gonna... Oh no, they forced their own force. Okay. Well... I thought if I saw Yuriko, I'd see more ninjas. That's where you thought wrong. Yuriko doesn't, like, need a lot of ninjas. He does trigger with more ninjas, but also there's not, like, a lot of good ninjas. That's... Alright, so Matoya just, like, never... That's so... Okay, if they're gonna do that, I'm gonna take this opportunity to Mystic Sanctuary, put the Force of Will back on top of my deck. Yep. And then they do draw an extra card off this, but... Oh god, I need to find my flyers. I need, like, my Merlin Mystic Sanctuary. I am just gonna get fucking 5'd in 4 turns here. No, Yuriko's a blue-black tempo deck. You play a bunch of small face-of creatures so you can play your commander for 2 mana over and over again without tax. And that's why she's a very potent and powerful commander. And unfortunately, all of their things also tend to have evasion. So... That's, You know what? I'm gonna do this main phase because I really, really, really need something to hit. And I'm gonna lose, like, either way, so I need to dig. I need to dig and find an out. This does give him, like, a free draw off the Mastermind, but I can't afford to think about that. Not ideal. Alright, that just gives me a free draw, though. Doesn't matter if I die in, like, 2 more hits. Or, like, maybe. How good of a ninja deck can you make with the cards Arena has? Let's put it this way. The ninjas had to be buffed in order to be playable. Alright. They can even just, like, have a deck that's full of answers. Just get Restoration, of course, if I need it. What were they buffed by? They were buffed by the devs. Like, the devs literally said, hey, the win rate for these cards is not, like, where we would like it to be, like them to be, for the rate that they're crafted for. So we are just going to, like, you know, tweak the numbers and make them better to play against. Or rather, better to use. Probably the better way to put it. If I don't find my Murmuring Mystic, I am... Hey, it's Time Warp. Time Warp. Play the Flooded Strand, go to combat, attack in. They don't need to block, so they really shouldn't. Although they can block the Architect onto Matoya and deny me a draw. Alright, come on. Come on. Can we get there? That's a Force Negation. That doesn't get there. That's a Chromox. That kind of helps. Here's a Chromox. Put the Seagate Restoration underneath. 4, 5, 6, 7, though. No, I absolutely need Time Warp here. Alright, now I get to use the Time Warp. Draw. Leaving the flood strain in case I need to go brainstorm, I guess. Let's go combat, attack again. See what I draw off the top. Hitting Grotto would let me get rid of any garbage beforehand, but... Yep, and now they're going to go ahead and use the Architect to keep me off of drawing another card. I don't have any other draw effects. Unable to Scream is a little too late. Because I am... so close to dead. Harbinger of the Seas, you don't do anything for me. Okay. Okay, now we have something. I can Unable to Scream the Fairy Mastermind so they stop drawing off of me. Now they have 4 power in play. Now they have 4 power in play. I can go Banishing Betrayal. Hit the Pixie. Do that now. Alright, we're living. We're living. Nope. Right now we're currently only taking the 2. That's the end of what we can do right now. So past the turn. I've got 1, 2... So I've got 5 mana if I need to use it. I'm really going to try not to. I drew so many cards off that master. Can you play Splinter for white, blue, black ninjas? What white ninjas are you going to put into the deck? Like, I'm not saying they don't exist, but like... You know, ninjas aren't really in white, per se. There's like, what, maybe 2 of them? And also, like, Splinter is just so much worse than Yuriko. Like, unequivocally. Yep, that's gonna be 3 damage. I can't stop that. I am now at 3. Past the Fairy Seer. Not what we want to stop. Oh, there's a ninja. Yeah, but like, it's not a good ninja. That's the point, right? And like, you know, ignore the fact that there are like, you know, turtle ninjas. Because, okay, sure, yeah, you've got Leonardo and that's a ninja. But like, most of them are just like, really not good. I actually at the point where I think need to consider like, countering the Stalker. If I can find like an Aether Flux, right? Or a, I can find my life gain thing. That would be really close. I think I actually need to, like, kill the 2/1 flyer. Just stop some of the pressure. Unwelcome Sprite. Unwelcome. Currently looking at down 1, 3, 4, 5. These 3 by themselves are already lethal. I've got this Welcoming Sprite here to help out with that. Go to combat, attack with the Curiosity, block with whatever they want. What's better, Ninja or Samurai? Whatever has stronger support. Also depends on the matchup. Alright, get your redraw here. Night Veil Sprite is a flyer. I will take that. That's a flyer that can block. Go ahead, grab. Play out the Unwelcome Sprite. Go ahead and go Tappa. Here's... Yep, okay. We might still be in this. You just gotta keep digging. Isn't Samurai Voltron? It can be. There's no one way that you build Samurai. It's not like... This isn't like Vanguard, where the company will build a deck for you, and it is exactly one thing. That's just not how it works at all. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Like, if you say, isn't creature type a, quote, deck? Like, maybe there's some generalities about it. Maybe. But, like, you can build them however you want. You can build fairies as an aggro deck. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So if I force a negation here, and I do it like this, I'm going to get a chance to potentially dig for another card to grab force. Blue card plus force of will. That is exactly what we got. Alright, and the Brazen Bar was gone. Perfect. Has to do damage. Yep, that's fine. They almost got me with the Yuriko there. Bounce the Disruptor Flute, and then suddenly they can do the things. I'm gonna brainstorm the shit out of this stuff. Like, being able to get another draw off the Welcoming Sprite, too good. And if they had anything else, I feel like they would have done it. Astrosphere is not the thing that we're looking for right now. Talrand? That's really good. Put back fetch land and pylons? No, I am really, really, really trying to dig right now. Also, my Force of Will is going to be turned off for this. Because now I'm at one and that Triton Shore Stalker is going to fucking murder me. But we're doing this so that way we can shuffle away the cards that we don't want to draw. Here's Pylon. If I can just find it, right? If I can just find it. Now we did like put all of the cards back into the deck. What other ways can you build Samurai? However you want, man. However you want. Sky's the limit. Okay. If I play Talrand before combat, what do we do? I think I'm just gonna go attack with both? Attack with both. Because I really fucking need things to resolve. Search for a Scanta is, again, not what we're looking for. Just keep digging. Just keep digging. Witness protection? Okay, okay. Okay, yep. We lose the Unwelcome Sprite. Don't enjoy that, but... Okay. Let's go and... First things first, we'll cast Talrand. Maybe Talrand resolves? Double D! Am I willing to Force of Will that? I've got 4, 5, 6 here. I've got a 1/1 right here, too. So Subtlety happens. They're hard casting Subtlety at that. Not how we want to do this, but it's how we're going to do it, I guess. And then, nope, it looks like they win the Time War. What other ways can you build Samurai? However you want. If you want to build Samurai Control, you can build Samurai Control. If you want to build Samurai Aggro, you can build Samurai Aggro. If you want to build it as Enchantment or Equipment Voltron, you can do that too. Sky's the limit, my brother. Commander for the Unicorn deck is Lathio. Ah, there's the Temporal Trespass. Okay. So here's where we get punished then. Because I can't deal with the Shore Stalker and the Architect. We are at 1 life. I can get one or the other. I guess dig, see what happens. So close this thing. Eaten by piranhas does not even there anymore. That's a good game. GG. Ah, we were so close. We were so close. If I had managed to find the reservoir to just gain life and stabilize, we could stop getting nickel and dimed. Baron Helmut Zemo, mono black. Possibly even mono black aggro. Enable Scream, pretty good. Fierce Guardianship, really good. If we get Thoughtseize, they probably take the Guardianship. Rivendell is not a card I want to see this early on, but we can play it untapped on the draw. This isn't like a fantastic hand, but I guess I'll keep it. Okay. Okay, so we got 2 lands to play with Matoya. Unable to Scream, Fierce Guardianship, Sink of the Stupor. Probably ends up being a pitch spell for something like Force of Will if we can find one. Okay, Sign in Blood to reload. Nothing wrong with that. Princess Yue is a good card to draw. I could even go like Unauthorized Exit. Varrogoyf. That would be a big contender for Unable to Scream. The question just becomes, am I unable to Scream this turn? Don't. I want this for tempo, right? Mentor's Guidance is a really good way to reload. Go ahead, play Island. Now I can play Matoya with Fierce Guardian backup. And we're going to find out exactly... Ooh, Library of Alexandria to draw a free card. Don't like that. Inquisition to take my Fierce Guardianship. I mean... Alright, yep, you got me. Now they can kill Matoya. But I'll just play Princess Yui and start rebuilding for her again. Alright, 2-minute kill spell, kill Matoya. Wait, hold on. They took my Princess Yue? I mean, the scry's pretty good. Not gonna lie, but that is definitely not what I expected at all. Let's go pay 3 life. I could just hold up the Enduring Curiosity. I don't need to drop the Mentor's Guidance just yet. No attacks past turn. Like, yeah, they have Princess Yue now, but that's what they wanted to spend their Reanimate on? Oh, right, and then they just get to keep drawing cards off Library of Alexandria. That is a problem that we're gonna have to... Pass, block. I guess they can Toxic Deluge now? I do get to Mana Leak that. Is that better than just going Curiosity? I think I'd rather just let the Goyf resolve. Play out the Curiosity. Now we could... Okay, Harbinger is really, really good here. Unable to Scream. Go to combat, attack with the Curiosity. They can block with the Goyf, that's fine. Now I get to play Harbinger, and I still have the Fierce Guardian backup. Tapped under your control, so like, if she dies, they get my Princess Yue. It doesn't come after the opponent's control. Mixing that with counter doublers makes it even more fun of doubling the 1/1 counters. I'd put on my other unicorns based on how much life gain that turn. I mean, doubling stuff is pretty. Alright, so yeah, there's the Fierce Guardianship, so they have to have, like, second removal. And then if I get to untap with Matoya. Alright, so they go Crow Mox. Now even if they kill the Harbinger, they're not going to get extra draw. Necropotence, huh? Yep, that's a real good one. Which means that I need to find a way to kill them all the faster. Don't want to lose Harbinger. Those I don't mind losing. Let's see. Go to combat. Attack with both. They can trade with the Curiosity. They get a free land off of it, which is not bueno. But use Curiosity, reload. At least they're just gonna get like a basic land. A whole lot. Yep, and I still get the draw card. Search for a Scanta, pretty good. Let's go Mentor's Guidance, redraw. I want to find something that's just going to stop them from drawing like anything. The Cosmo Elixir, I don't need that with the Search of a Scanta out. Into the Flood Mob helps. Subtlety, pretty good. Overwhelmed Apprentice, not what I'm looking for. Cryptic Command, also good. Force and Negation helps a lot. I'm going to hold on to everything. I'm not going to play the Search for a Scanta just yet. I might pitch the Force and Negation. Skip your draw step. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. Alright, so that's Grizzy B. You can pay 7 life and just, like, draw cards? I can also just, like, play Subtlety, right? Yeah, I can just, like, play Subtlety. They can pay 7 life and they can draw 7 cards. I don't know what they would do otherwise. Like, they pay 7 life, they go down to 6, right? Then they have to discard, but then they get to see so many more cards. Yeah, I think this is a Into the Flood Mob, put Grizzlebrand back on top of their deck moment. And that's enough to get the win. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. I am shocked that they decided to take Princess UA with the Inquisition. And then also spend a reanimate on her? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah, it gives them a lot of scry power. But I guess it denies me a powerful draw engine, sure. Was it just because they didn't have, like, any removal? Was it a, I don't have a way to kill Matoya, so I guess I'll just take out the Enabler, and the counterspell doesn't matter as much? It feels like a big deal. It feels like kind of a big deal. Okay, so that gets us back that we're currently yo-yoing, and that is okay. I'm just here for the love of the game. Superior Spider-Man. All right. Time for the classic. Do the thing. Disruptor Flute. Okay. And here's the thing. Superior Spider-Man enters a copy of any creature except his name is Superior Spider-Man. Okay, perfect. Disruptor Flute's exactly what we want. The opponent's going first. Counterspell Disruptor Flute. 3 lands. If we get Thought Seized, they take the Disruptor Flute. That is not good. I don't have any free rolls to protect with Matoya, but I can use the Opt as a first turn, try and, like, find something. I don't mind that. Go with Island turn 2, Castle Vantress turn 3. Cosmo Elixir, that's the name of the card. This is the card that I wanted against the Yuriko player, because it's going to give us 2 life every turn and scry, so that draws a card with Matoya. But, cards just didn't work out last time. This might be a scenario where I need to Disruptor Flute on my opponent's turn. Ripples of Undead. Gotcha. Now, the good news is... Flare of Denial. That's kind of like a counterspell if you look at it weird. Like, it just is a counterspell. Ooh, the Nightveil Sprite. I would love to go Disruptor Flute into... I would love to get the Sprite online. If I get the Sprite online and then go into Matoya, we can pretty easily set things up. But instead, what I'm going to do... Oh, hey, would you look at that? Removal, Entomb, reanimate stuff. They're going to Entomb. Alright. Let's go ahead and Disruptor Flute. They might counter this, and I don't have a way to stop that. But at the very least, this will keep them from going, like, Entomb into its Superior Spider-Man, right? Nope, they're just going into Entomb now. I have Superior Spider-Man, enter as a copy of any card in the graveyard except as Spider-Man. I can Nightveil Sprite, hold up the Flare of Denial that way. I've also got, like, just actual factual counterspell that I can set up. Jin Cataxius would actually be disastrous, huh? Because that doesn't get shut off with Disruptor Flute. Which might mean that I need to sit on counterspell for a second. Alright, they're gonna go with Undercity Sewers. They could even, like, daze to bounce this back. Okay, Superior Spider-Man. Okay. Play the Nightveil Sprite. And then potentially Flare Denial. I don't think I mind sitting on this for one more turn. Because if I literally just wait, right? If I literally just wait. Okay, so they're going to Thought Seize the counter magic out of my hand. Well, I'm not going to 2-for-1 myself. Alternatively, I do counter... No? Alright, well, here's Nightveil Sprite. No removal. Okay. Taking more stuff in there. Gotcha. They might be waiting to use the Thoughtseize for the turn that they actually go for Reanimate. At which point, I am going to use the counterspell to protect the Flare Denial. Because... backside of this is whenever Swords deals damage to Rona, exile a card at random at the hand. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield under your control. Otherwise, you can play it without paying its cost. I'm just going to eat. Alright. I'm going to hold off on the Greyhaven. I'm going to go play that. Here's Matoya. Matoya gets to start doing her thing. Surveil trigger. Mana Leak. I'll take it. That's counter magic. Alright, we're gearing up for a fight. Ooh, Bringer of the Last Gift is really good. Now we're at the point where maybe I... Let's see. If they take the Flare of Denial, I get to cast one counterspell. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. I have a chance to play the Greyhaven into Cosmo Elixir on the next turn. So I won't need the Nightveil Sprite as badly. And if this goes them into, like, making their big play, even all the better. Zombify. There we go. Sacrifice the Sprite. I do still have, like, the worst of the counter spells for it, unfortunately. And now I also have to fight, like, any of the other counter spells that they might have for it. Like, they might just have more reanimates. And in 2 turns, they get to play their Superior Spider-Man as well. This is what, 5 mana transform? Early their whole turn. And the Ripples of Undeath is going to continue filling their graveyard too. Princess Yui. Sink into Stupor. 4, 5, 6. I'll take that because that's interaction. And then I'll play out Princess Yui this turn. We'll see how that goes. Like, depending on what they reanimate, I can sink into Stupor and drop this. Because if they bring back Jinkataxias, right? I can bounce Jinkataxias back to their hand. This is pretty soft right now. This is really soft. I'm gonna discard. Go through their deck. I need to keep that flute in mind. Only keep the flute in mind if, like, you're intending to play competitive. If you're playing competitive, every deck needs a Disruptor Flute. Turns off Strip Mines, turns off a lot of the problematic commanders like Yuriko. Okay, they're not going to pay the 3. It would have to be, like, actual factual animate. Actual factual reanimate. And if they decide to, like, reanimate their summon Bahamut, that's also a problem. I can't sink it into Stupor if it's reanimate. If it's like a huge reanimate spell, like another Zombify type card, I can mana leak it instead. Let's see. Rona is just like 5 mana without tapping, and then she can start smashing in as a 5/5. Fortunately, that's what the Cosmo Elixir is going to be here for. Oh, they are going to go for it. Alright. Actually, you know what? That's even better. Because... You know what? I'll take this 5 first. No blocks. Pass. We're going to go to their end step. And then I'm going to sink into Stupor that. So that way, they just... You know, they dealt 5 damage, but now we get to do some pretty cool stuff. I think I just attack rather than trying to draw out, right? Because now Animate is significantly worse and off the table. Alright, so there's Cosmo Elixir. Pass the turn. Now I get the Scry to draw and gain life back. Spell Snare. Counter target spell with mana value 2. This is a this is not ideal. This is not an ideal counter magic suite. But putting them to 8 is very meaningful. Let's see, they can still get back. Oh yeah, they can still get things back. Alright, well here's Mana Leak. And if they have, like, if it's the counter spell that they have answered, we have the Spell Snare, I guess. Holy shit! Holy shit! And Mana Drain to boot. And then I just hold up Castle Vantress and everything else. Mystic Sanctuary is not what I'm looking for right now. Alright, so I can castle... I've got 5. This is essentially 5. I've got 7 mana, so I can Mana Drain and Castle Vantress in the same turn. Like, if they kill Princess Yue, I get a land that just, like, scries forever. Surveil 3, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. What if no? And that's GG, everybody! GG! Oh my god! Oh my god, that one kept me on my toes for a bit there. Kind of crazy that Oracle of Alpha is a thing that giving you the power 9 into your library. You'd think so, right? You'd think that this would be some sort of crazy overpowered card because of the cards that's putting into your deck. But actually, no. No. This card apparently has a very below average win rate. I.e., you know, just because it makes the power 9 doesn't mean it's good. What makes the power 9 powerful is the fact that you can, like, you know, get one in your opening hand and just accelerate beyond what the, what your opponent's doing. There's some really powerful stuff that you can do like Upheaval, where you bounce everything on the field, including the lands, and then you drop all your boxes again. But, like, if you have to play this thing first in order to do that, and then they get shuffled into your deck, you really don't want to be seeing, like, turn 10 Mox Ruby, you know? That being said, I get to play with it in Matoya because it scries whenever it attacks, and that draws me cards. That's the real reason that we're playing it. I thought getting a Black Lotus in your deck would be really powerful. It's really not. Like, the Black Lotus is a very powerful card, don't get it twisted. But again, the reason those cards are powerful is because if you see them early, you just get the start 50 yards ahead of your opponent in a 60-yard race, you know? That's why they're good. Anyway, we had to dodge. We had to beat what? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we had to dodge 3 goddamn reanimation spells. Honestly, this is a nice setup. I like this. Opponent has a cool reanimator deck here. The fact that they were threatening Jin-Gitaxias of all things to start with is terrifying. We just had to get some really, really good draws there. Holy shit. So it only works if you have a deck that focuses on drawing. If they just stay there, they keep getting shuffled, that won't mean anything. Not really. Not really. Like, you don't even have to be a deck that's good at drawing cards. The power comes just from you having the ability to get them in your opening hand. Now, granted, there are decks you can build where you play the Oracle of the Alpha, and then you immediately Mystic Tutor for the Time Walk, and then your game strategy is just looping Time Walk. But at that point, you are already a Time Warp turns deck that's looping Time Warp. So, IDK. The only difference is that, like, you know, that's the thing that you can still do in casuals. Do it. Like, let's put it this way. A Black Lotus doesn't help you if you are burned down to, like, 3 life and your opponent just needs to play 1 lightning bolt to kill you, right? Like, it is fast mana, and fast mana is significantly less good the longer the game goes on. Bro gets Emery Lurker the Lock. This is going to be Paradox Engine combo, classic stuff. Daze is okay. Petrified Hamlet is okay. They do run Strip Mine, but Commandeer's kind of crazy, right? They play the because then they try to go past the Paradox Engine. We Commandeer, we get the Paradox Engine. See? The Daze is kind of cool. Into the Blood Moss slows down a little bit. Other than that, this hand doesn't do. The Commandeer's tempting, but I feel like we can do better. Wash Away, Spell Pierce, Nightveil Sprite, and Force of Will. I'll keep the 6. I can pitch the Disruption Force. We're probably going to do turn 1 Emery anyway. So drop the Spell Pierce. Wash Away works perfectly fine against anything they try and cast from the graveyard. And we'll just, like... Okay. Oh, that helps. I want the Sprite on board. Retrofitter Foundry. That will make a bunch of 1/1s over time. Like, that is a good card, but that is also not the card that I can afford to fight over right Alright, so I still have Force. I've got Flare of Denial if I really need it. Emery, let's go ahead and fight over that, shall we? Just crazy and competitive. People have turn 3, turn 4 ways to kill you. I mean, yeah, that's competitive. Magic is a very, very fast game when you let people build their own decks. Oh god, am I willing to, like, Flare of Denial? Keep Matoya around? I think I am. Fine, you know you want to let me keep Matoya around. Okay, they're gonna subtly pitch her. That's fine by me. Oh, this does just, like... Yeah, we'll go ahead and let her go to the library for a turn. Done. Mistrise Village. What hand do they have that they can't, like, drop Emery right away? Patchwork Automaton. That's a card that also, like, beats me eventually, but I still can't afford to, like, let that eat my free counter magic. Like, okay, here's Matoya. Is your hand literally nothing but interaction? Is that why you're not vomiting shit out? Alright, they're gonna go ahead and make the servo. Harmonized Trio. You're not a land. You're pretty good eventually, but you're not a land. And I would love to hit an island right now so I could convert this Consider. So this is an artifact deck? Emery is absolutely an artifact deck, yeah. Sculpting Steel is very good. If it just grabs like a Patchwork Automaton, they just like run over me, right? I think I have to let it happen. But like they do have double Patchwork Automaton. I currently have Matoya on defense. And there's Emery. I have to do this. Much as I don't want to. I need to keep Emery off the board. Like, they will continue recasting her. I'm doing that for tempo specifically. Okay, so here's Astrosphere. Go ahead and just start scaling up. Talrand is pretty good, but not where I need more ways to, like, draw cards. Fairy's a good way to draw cards. Hold the wash away. I am literally trying to fight an Emery, but Emery's power is that Emery just, like, costs nothing forever. And also, they can use the Mistrise Village to make her uncounterable anyway. Okay, this is gonna hurt. Honestly, the Mistrise Village. Okay. What's the story, Wishbone? Kappa Cannoneer! Yep, that's another good one. Kappa Cannoneer is literally just gonna kill us. Every time they play an artifact, it gets to be uncounterable, and it gets a counter. And, I don't have a way to erase that. Unless I literally hit a land off of Teferi. Alright, hitting Grotto. Counterspell, cool. Counterspell, not what we need right this second. Do I need it next turn? They're gonna cast Emery. Emery gets to go down for free. I would love to have a way to, like, answer the Kappa Cannoneer. I'm gonna try and dig for, like, enchantment removal. Okie dokie.
I'm finished running from battles. I
This might mean that Teferi eats it. I'm okay if that happens. If they decide to send the Kappa Cannoneer at Teferi, that is a-okay with me. Now shields are down. Shields are down and we are in dire straits. Got sewer surveillance. What else is this? Just sacrifice this artifact draw to? Ah, yeah, they do get to tap down my 5/5. And if they send everything at Teferi, Teferi dies anyway. Yeah, this is just like pay 1, sack a servo, make a Thopter. That makes the Cannoneer unblockable. Yep, that's really heckin' bad. Which is why I really just need Teferi to soak up this damage. No blocks. Thank you for your service, Teferi. Now we can start doing some shit. Ah, that's beautiful. That is exactly what I wanted. Actually, hold on. No. Undo that. Undo that. I'm going to tap with a island in case I hit daze, and that's relevant for some reason. This has ward 4, though. That's so... Oh, bad. Oh, God. What am I gonna do? I think I just die, right? Because I can eat by piranhas. It's gonna take 6 mana to do. Force of will, consider, wash away. What are my outs here? If I attack with the Teferi right now, then it trades with both of those, and I don't have anything that scales up to beat it. At least not immediately. Okay, next combat. No attacks. Do I need to start scaling anything else? Maybe. I guess I could have attacked with the 5/5 at that point. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. I will literally put a Consider on top of my deck. If wait, what am I doing? I did Bolas mess with a Monket? A Monket was his body farm, bro. It's literally where he gathered the army of the undead. People die all the time, so he just like set up a farm where it's like, hey, you know what? All your dead people, just fucking, yeah, just fucking entomb them for me. Just like, you know, preserve their bodies, and I'll just collect them later. Also, I'm all-powerful, so you consider me a god now. I just need to block that cannon. That Kappa cannon. I can jump with the Silver Raven, at least. I can actually double block. No, I can't. Can't double block. Alright. We're gonna go grab ourselves Mystic Sanctuary. Pray that Consider finds the way. Okay then, so... Elvish Mariner, not what I want. Search for Escanta, cool, I guess. I am like super Omega dead. I can trade. Oh god, there's like no winning here. I don't think we win, because if I attack him with the token, they get blocked with both of the automatons. I kill one. Emery gets to cast it. They get to copy the Cannoneer now. And... oh. Do I even attack with it right now? I don't think I do. Like, I don't like the idea of just passing turn right now either, but I can't think of anything else to do. But a Monket already had gods? Why does that matter? Why does that matter if a Monket already had gods? Bolas was already in, like, everything, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you have gods if you can convince everyone that you're, like, the God Supreme. What he did. Everyone called him the God Pharaoh. I never read the Amonkhet story, so I don't actually know if, like... Pay the ward cost real quick. Yeah, I don't actually know if, you know, they existed beforehand, but it's kind of, like, antithetical. Yeah, okay, there we go. Like, just because a plane has gods doesn't mean that you can't convince other people that you're a god. Haven't you ever seen Road to El Dorado? The people there had plenty of gods, and then Miguel and Tulio show up, and it's like, oh, by the way, you know, that volcano that's blowing up right now, that's because, you know, Julio is having a splitting migraine, and you know, we're just gonna have him say stop really loud at the top of his voice, and then the volcano stops, and now everyone's convinced that we are gods incarnate. Okay. Ends on a bit of a disappointing note. We kind of got banged up a bit, but, like, you know, so it goes, so it goes. Kappa Cannoneer is a hell of a Magic the Gathering card, and we couldn't find an answer fast enough. Why did they print that thing in the Modern? We're gonna go do our Final Fantasy 14 chore. And Bolas and Ugin brothers? That is correct. The family relationships were very intentional from the start. Including Ugin's original design to draw 7 cards and gain 7 life off of his life. Okay. Go ahead and Green B. Okay. I have to think for a bit about whether I want to try making an actual push towards Mythic or not. I've only got so many hours in the day to try and... But it'd be cool to try and get up to Mythic, but... Again, it's not like I have any particular incentive to do so beyond just cred, right? Behind the street cred. The thing I just know when it comes to Strixhaven is Silver Quill students insult must really hurt. Dude, any insults hurt. That's a human being telling you to your face something mean. Like, come on. Come on. I can insult you right now. And, like, you know, unless you're a part of a very specific demographic, that's gonna, you know, that's gonna sting a little bit. What else we need? Yep, we only got, like, more than we need. Flux. Flux Hard. That's the one. Oh, right. We're going to go into Brave Flux Hard last time, but then we had that emergency that I had to end stream early for. Notably, it was something that I had to, like, you know, drop and take care of immediately. Therefore, you know, it counts as an emergency. But it wasn't like a lethal emergency or anything like that. Turns out my wife's car, the car alarm was going off for hours. And she got a message from management saying, hey, we're getting complaints about your car going off in the lot. It's been like this since, I don't know, apparently 4 a.m. So, had to spend a couple of hours messing around seeing whether the old Honda Civic would settle down or not. Had to do that thing where you take the kid out to drive them around for like an hour until they fall asleep. Except that didn't work. So then we just looked it up on Reddit and said, oh, you know, you might need to take it into a mechanic to actually figure out what's going on. You might need to root the horn. But in the meantime, you know, use your key manually to lock the car rather than the key fob. And we have heard a car alarm going off since then, but fortunately it's not her car alarm. So, you know, the advice seems to be sound for now. By the way, folks, while we're streaming Final Fantasy XIV, you are eligible to gift 3 subs. Gift 3 subs, and you too can get the Rainbow LGBTQ unicorn. Say that because Silverquill is the College of Eloquence? Nothing eloquent about insults, man. There's nothing eloquent about, like, you know, hurting another person's feelings just because you can. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe there's, like, you know, some skill to banter. I'm not saying that there isn't. You ever watch Northern Lion stream? That man is the king of banter. That man has savage blows of the likes of which people just, like, don't get broadside. But, like, you know, it's always in retaliation as opposed to, like, you know, being a front. People walking into his chat and then just, like, saying rude shit, and then, you know, he gives better than they can. But there's nothing eloquent about being insulting. That's just being a dick. If anyone tells you otherwise, well then, like, understand that they just want to, like, you know, say shit without consequence. How skillful can someone be at banter? You can be pretty damn skillful, honestly. There's a lot of repartee that goes into wordplay and going into back and forth. Like, I swear to God. Look up the Library of Laterno. Or even just, like, Library in Northern Lion, and you'll see a ton of clips. And the shit that this man comes up with at off the top of his head. Astounding. I don't have the RAM for that sort of cleverness. Now, if you're trying to, like, you know, ask for a quantifiable measurement, I think you might be in the wrong stream. How long is a piece of string? How red does a rose have to be before it's violet, you know? One of the greatest joys and greatest frustrations of life is that you can't quantify this shit. There's only pure existence. I stuttered too much to be that quippy? Honestly, same. And that's a very autism-coded trait, by the way. Like, I don't have a lot of RAM when I'm streaming. The fact that I can do any talking at all while I'm streaming is nothing short of a miracle. And I was, and still am, a massive stutterer at times when I just, like, have so much information that I'm trying to get out of my head and into the real world. Especially when it's very clear that people don't have any patience for what you're about to say. And they're just rolling their eyes, tapping their foot, going, okay, okay, get to the point, motherfuckers. I grew up being told by my 6th grade teacher that you're supposed to lead off with the evidence before you get into the point. You're supposed to slow roll them into the conversation to try and build, you know, intrigue and interest. That's what H-Bomber Guy does in the fucking plagiarism video, and it works like a fucking goddamn charm. You're engaged in that shit before you've even realized anything. Unfortunately, the world is just not built for people like you and me. So even if we can come up with the quippiest, most colorful thing to say off the top of our head, the window is gone before it's even there. Like right there. I had that little bit of a start because I was like, okay, this isn't exactly what I'm trying to say, except actually it is. So let me just go ahead and cut myself off mid-sentence and continue the thought rather than continuing the thought and then trying to correct myself later on. Water is not air. Oh boy. That went down the wrong pipe. I'm good. I'm a little less good because I didn't go into the immediate spot that I wanted to. But hey, you know what? If we set ourselves up for a 2-liner, I will gladly take it. Alright, let's go. The vault. Whew. Okay. Worst I've ever stuttering is asking a question starting with and starting like 5 times. Oof. That's a rough one. Stuttering used to drive my parents crazy, like particularly my father. I had this thing where as a kid, I could not pronounce the letter L. Like, little lady had a little laugh was fucking hell for me. And every day he insisted that I just like say that over and over again until I could actually pronounce it to his satisfaction. And like, hey, you know what? I still have terrible pronunciation. At that point, I just asked someone to knock me out. I'm kidding, but still. Flash joking. Don't indicate a real. I think this is part of why I have such a higher propensity for, like, you know, forums. When I was in middle school, I was really big into going onto websites that my friends had set up. So that way we could, you know, roleplay text by post. Why am I burning my... Did I really have to zoom me that badly? And you learn a lot about trying to post online. You understand a lot of the nuance and expression that can come in texting that maybe you just have a bit of a harder time sharing in person, because then the awkward pause feels really awkward. You're not at a point where you can just enjoy the company of other people. But then when you have like that awkward pause in text, it's not really an awkward pause. It's just flipping over to the other channels to see if anyone else actually responded to the meme that you sent 10 minutes ago. Imagine how bad it'd be stuttering to someone working at a cash register that many times. I have been that person. I have been the person stuttering both to the cash registry and the person manning the register. It is not enjoyable. Fortunately, you know, with the advent of self-checkout lanes, that has been significantly reduced, as has, you know, not having to work at a goddamn cash register where, you know, you can try and make everyone happy. You can try be peppy and smiley, but God forbid you have a low energy day and you have to, you know, wear the resting bitch face, or you have to, you know, be a little bit monotone because, goddamn it, I just don't have the energy to mask today. I don't have the energy to wear the happy hippie mask all the time. And then when you do have the energy, you still get in trouble because you start being jokey joke. And it's like, yeah, I'm being friendly. I like to make jokes. I like to laugh. And then you make, like, you know, a joke that you clearly intended to mean one thing and then someone else said something else. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. You just can't win. You just can't win. And it's goddamn hell. You know, it's funny. Customer service jobs seem like they would be a no-brainer for people who like to help. But if you're autistic, interacting with people is the last thing that you need. Because people have so many different interpretations. They have so many different lived experiences that you are never going to have a common baseline that's going to inform you the correct way to interact with all peoples at all times. Just ask people to be blunt with me. But they see that's the thing too, right? Other people ask to be blunt all the time. And instead what it ends up being is I'm actually just going to be an asshole. And so it's not that, you know... Okay. So I'm going to back up for a second. I'm going to add some context to this. There are people who will say they don't like me because I'm blunt, or I just tell it how it is, right? What that might mean is I am autistic and I just kind of say the things that are on my mind without any sort of social filter preventing me from performing any sort of social pop because, you know, again, differing rules means differing values and different experiences means that different people are going to react to different things. But I call someone a hoe bag to their face, depending on who that is either a virtue or a vice. If I call someone a hoe bag and while I'm bagging their, I don't know, cabbages, I am suddenly a cunt of a bitch. But if I call someone a hoe bag and they're literally my best homie who I give little kisses to before, you know, we go to night, well then, like, you know, that's just playful repartee. And you can try and qualify that with, well, obviously you haven't built the relationship of, you know, familiar intent in order to actually have that without, you know, needing to qualify everything first. And it's like, sure, yeah, but having to build that relationship beforehand takes so much effort. Why can't I just be myself to anyone that I meet and not have this drop massive house-sized repercussions upon my head? And that's what it might mean, right? That's what it might mean. And that, that's a reasonable thing to, take out of that. But also, some people will literally say, people don't like me because I'm blunt and I just tell it like it is. And what they really mean is, they're just an asshole. They are literally an asshole who is not taking into consideration the fact that they are talking to another human person who might be hurt by the things that they say. And it's like, motherfucker. Like, I've talked to people, right? I've talked to other trans girls that, are not as kind or understanding about the whole, wanting to dress however you want, and then, not being sympathetic with the cruelty of the world surrounding them that doesn't, respond kindly to people who are trying to reclaim their lost childhood. They will, in fact, go, well, I told you that this, was going to be a problem, right? And that people were going to be mean to you and beat you up. So then why are you crying that people are mean to you and beat you up? Motherfucker, I'm crying because people were mean to me and beat me up. So it's like, it doesn't even have to be, intentionally. But, like, at some point, you have to become responsibility for your... Yeah, do have to become responsible for your own neurodivergence. And recognize that, maybe you shouldn't have to mask, but you do have to put in, the effort it takes to maintain the relationships with the people that you want to be continuing. Or at the very least, find the people who understand that this is your level of cordiality. You gotta find your people, and that can be... I like you being blunt. You just say it how it is. You're not an a-hole. Just real with it. See, I appreciate that you feel that way, Teddy. Like, sincerely and honestly, right? But also, I do have to constantly evaluate whether I'm being fair and kind with what I am saying. I want to be sympathetic. I want to be kind. I also have to maintain certain, not boundaries, but, like, I do have to honor certain truths about who I am. Right? And that is just going to rub some people the wrong way. That is going to just... Oh my god, do I have... I have to be okay with people going, wow, this woman's an asshole. And I'm trying my very best to be as un-asshole as possible. And that is perfectly fine. Maybe I'm not going to be popular. Maybe I'm not going to appeal to general audiences. That just means that the people that click with me are going to actually really click with me. And that's why we're here. I can't mask for shit. You don't say. Reject masking. Reject masking. Embrace autism. Now, granted, there is, like, limits to that as well. Like, I do not care for masking myself. I do not want to if I don't have to. But I do have to recognize that we put ourselves into enough social situations that we have to develop those skills. Like, masking doesn't have to be an inherently bad thing. I don't think so. I would like to believe that masking can, in fact, be a tool to use to survive encounters with people who might not be as understanding. And it's sad to say that that has to be the case, because not everyone can do it. It'd be like trying to be... It'd be like trying to tell someone, actually, you know what? I know you don't... I know that we're going to go into a scenario that might be hostile to people based on the way that you look. But we're just going to have to ask you to, suck it all up so that way we can get through it. That's, that's not ideal. It's all messy. I wish to God that there were just, catch-all scenarios. Just one simple solution. But if we had, simple solutions for all of life's problems, we wouldn't have these problems in the first place. We'd be able to get them from our I'm gonna say trans elf. But, like, those are so few and far. It's like we are the active generation. One thing I hate the most is people who use their autism as an for shitty behavior. 100% agree. That is exactly what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, there is room for acceptance, right? There is room for acceptance, patience, and understanding. And it has to be balanced against the fact that we just can't keep doing. Unfortunately, this is part of what I think causes the whole my autism is barking at your autism, because our autism don't get along at all type thing, right? You've got people who are so deep what how they live that it feels very disruptive. Feels very disruptive, right? Because at least with the masking, I can go out and I can be like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to mask, how things are doing. And then like especially if like there's a particularly especially if someone's being particular autism about it. Wish it wasn't so, but that'd be how it'd be. What am I grabbing again? I'm grabbing the... Gotta grab Bomber. What was I supposed to be grabbing? I can grab more Moonstone. That's not bad. Hold on. I've got my shop. Adamantine Francesca, Titanium Alloy Mirror, Dispelling Arrow, and... Gotcha. Dispelling Arrow, Francesca, Alloy Mirror, and King. We could just, like, get more of the... We do that so that way we don't cap on our... Excellent. Now we can turn in all of our extra stuff. Ton of inventory space. I just be me. The most I do is hold myself back filter-wise. Isn't it? It's so exhausting, though. It's so exhausting to have to constantly, like, watch and monitor what you... And then it makes life so frustrating, because there are people out there that don't have to do that. Or just, like, don't do that, even though maybe they should a little bit. And they just exist like that. Carefree, fancy-free, never worrying. Never thinking about the social things that they're losing out because of it. And nice. I'm going to turn in extra areas before we go into the... Ah! Okay, so we have a few chances for a 4-liner. We have one diagonal that's building, but I would love to get the 2-liner. I'm not going to spend my second chance points on rerolls, not just yet. I've talked to other autistic person at my LGS and had an unfiltered conversation. People at the table were looking at us a bit. I bet. Especially if, like, you know, the autism conversation is less like a conversation and more like turn-based combat. That's definitely how it feels like sometimes, right? You're just waiting for your turn to go ahead and share, and then that's how you relate to the other person. And meanwhile, they're relating to you by taking their turn to share. And it's like, you both kind of get it, you both kind of click, you're both kind of popping off. But it's definitely not a conversation per se, other than the fact that it's two people trading ideas by word of mouth. Which, like, hey, you know what? That's all communication is. Two people, two or more people get polyamory. Sharing ideas. Okay, there we go. I've got map. Alright, what's the last one that we need to do? We need to go do our levels. Go do somehow hard. I think that might just be one of the, What the fuck? Hold on, I need to check out something in my... here. the? Hmm. Okay, just weird things going on in Granada. Gotcha. Don't worry. It's definitely one of the things about streaming that you gotta spend some time to. Gotta find that way to balance stream of thought, streaming, yapping, discussion, talking. Being able to do like, okay, yeah, obviously playing the whatever, but really just more like being able to do it in a way where you're appealing. This is a weird way to say it. Because here I am advocating for, like, you know, being able to be yourself and find your homies who will understand you through your tisms. But that is also something that is really hard. And again, it's really, really easy to go crazy with that, right? I tease Jess a lot. I tease Jess, like, a lot. Sometimes I worry that I tease him way too fucking much. In ways that are actually, like, really unkind. But, hey, you know what? We've had that conversation. We've had that conversation before where I have told him, you are allowed to tell me if I am doing too much. You are allowed to ask me to stop. Please, please, ask me to stop. Please, if it is ever, like, too much. And, like, you know, he's only ever had to do that, like, maybe the once or the twice. And it was very specifically because we kept putting, like, spoiled food into his pack in Baldur's Gate 3. And hey, if that's the, like, the furthest it goes, if that's, like, the angriest he gets with us, so much the better. Unfortunately, like, you know, and then, like, there's also just, like, a one-sidedness to it in points, right? They say that you should be able to take it, that you should not dish it if you cannot handle it yourself. Unfortunately, I'm the type of motherfucker who literally cannot handle being teased or being made fun of in any way. Like, legit, I just get so upset. I just get so upset if people start making fun of me or teasing me for stuff. Especially if it's, like, you know, for things that I'm kind of proud of or things that I'm, you know, particularly sensitive about. Like, I don't even have to be, like, good at it per se. It just, like, has to be happening. But I will tease the shit out of people. So really, the ideal audience that we need to find there is an audience that is okay with being teased and will not retaliate. Clearly. Less repartee and definitely more, I don't know, maybe that kind of goes into a weird territory. Whenever I eat chicken tenders, my brothers will tease me. Ask me if I'm enjoying my autism dinner. Oh my god! First of all, I hope they're teasing you with love, right? I hope they're teasing you with love. But also, like, that's so real though, right? Because my wife also has, like, a lot of the texture issues with a lot of different food. A lot of the different texture and taste issues. Like, she cannot have any sort of sea-based dish. Like, she just doesn't like fish. He just does not like fish, does not want it. He also, like, doesn't like having sauce on her chicken tenders. Whenever we go out to a Japanese restaurant, she will get chicken karaage because that is literally just fried chicken. And, like, we can have fun, we can talk about the breading and stuff like that. It's a miracle that the sauce that one of the restaurants that we went to actually appeals to her. This is the first time in 5 years since I've been married to her that I have seen her actively take to a sauce. It's wonderful. I love my wife. I make macaroni and cheese for her every week because that is what she likes. The quick and easy that I can make for her that she really enjoys. But also, like, just told me to go out to dinner and then everyone's ordering this stuff and then silently judging her as to things like, or if someone's hosting dinner and there's just nothing that she can eat, so she asks if she can, like, go to the kitchen and make her box macaroni. I want to slaughter them. I want to slaughter all the people that make fun of her for that. I don't like the chewy fat of meat because it triggers her reflex. Real. A lot of the fatty parts are like really chewy, and like I like that bit for like a little bit. I think a little bit of the meat chew is actually pretty nice. It's a little hard to swallow sometimes, as the truth often is. But like I get that. I get that 100%. For me personally, right? I can't stand oatmeal. I can't stand it. I hate it. It's mushy. It's grainy. It's like this lump thing that you can't even like chew. It doesn't change texture at all once you start going. It's the literal worst for me. I have never in my life been able to finish a bowl of oatmeal despite trying multiple times, even as an adult, right? It's the literal worst. It feels like eating dog shit. And like, it's kind of the same way with kidney beans too. Like, there's just something I do not like about certain styles of beans. I've gotten better about some beans, right? I can have refried beans with Mexican dishes. Those are fine. Kidney beans once in a while is okay. No, it's baked beans. That's what it is. I can't stand baked beans. Baked beans are my fucking mortal enemy. Hate it. And like, I like to think that I've got a relatively refined palate, right? Because I can and actively want to try a bunch of different things. And even I still have things that I literally will die if I eat. Okay, well, maybe not literally die, but I'm going to feel like I'm dying. I'm going to feel like I'm on. Admittedly, you know, trying to eat something like a steak and then having it turn into a meat wad in your mouth is also a pretty bad experience. But I've learned that I can mitigate that by literally just cutting off the tiniest, smallest bite-sized piece. We get all the flavor of the meat before and chew it and swallow it before it turns into an unlovable meat wad. Even worse if that chewy meat feels slimy as well. That's way too real. That's way too real. Oh my god. Who is still typing stuff in the hold on, we're just gonna take a look here real quick. Where is okay. Someone in Gridania is like laying some low tier bait. And like, I ain't gonna use my my time and energy to like worry about it. Life is too short to deal with stuff like this. And wait, hold on. Did I just casually get 2 lines and not even know this? Holy shit! Double liner! Oh, that's great. Love to see that. Oh my god, I forgot that we have to do PvP. Okay, let's go. Actually, hold on. Let's go and go into frontline. While frontline. Going, queuing, drop off all this. I was wondering why we managed to finish Wondrous Tales so quickly. It's also really funny. I don't remember when I became such a food person in terms of like getting to fully enjoy the texture and meal of things that I was eating. I just don't remember it at all. But I do remember that in my mid-20s, I was living off of a lot of fast food. And, you know, it's pretty great at first when you're living on your own for the first time. You don't have to deal with those overstimulating casseroles that your mother makes you eat all the time, and that's all she ever does. You can just eat the stuff that you like, but then all you do is eat the stuff that you like, and you start to lose like the variety and the fun that you had beforehand, and then you go home for a home-cooked meal. You realize, oh, the flavor was the friends we made along the way all along. It's currently at... Let's not go into Chloe just yet, actually. First, I need to drop some tombstones off. Get some more stuff for the Atma relics. Get the seeds, the ore, the shell, the bone. Then we go. Dell's turn. At some point, when I was dating my then girlfriend, we just started going out to restaurants and being able to have our dates. And because there was just like a lack of, maybe it was because there was like a lack of things to talk about or what, but I don't know. It just kind of turned into a whole thing. Just kind of turned into a talking point. So we would just like discuss the actual like flavor of the things that we were eating. It was nice. I should go. I remember talking with about the Beast Gamer job and how some of us wish the weapon was a whip. Then they came in with talking about how people in the RP scene would use that, and I just laughed at that. Okay, but they're right. Your friends are right, though, Teddy. Because, like, if Beast Tamer did have a whip, 100%, we would start seeing a rise in slightly more vanilla BDSM club. Which, like, you know, isn't necessarily a bad thing. Especially the amount. But that is what would happen. What am I doing on material? Got 10 of the Adamantine Fresh Guide, Dispelling Arrow, Bio Ore Seed, Bone Shell, and Alloy Error, and for Francesca, 19. So I need to get like 9 more Francesca, 9 more Alloy Mirror. Well. Oh, hey! There's the unicorn, chat! There's the unicorn that you can get if you donate 3 gift subs during any of our Final Fantasy XIV streams. Sadly, you know, you can't do it during the Magic stream in order to jumpstart the process. But hey, as soon as we start playing Final Fantasy... Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rain. Pink fluffy dancing on rainbows. Fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Still turning. You know what the sad thing is? There was a point in my life where I thought I could get people to perfectly understand me. Oh, hello. You, sir, have the Eureka armor. I am a big fan of the Eureka. That's such a good color for it, too. I just kind of have to do this every time I see someone in the Eureka armor. It's a very good motivator for getting to go and do the thing myself. That looks... I was thinking about what if they did the chemist job, then that friend came in and saying, what if they went with the witch doctor route and gave them a gun as a weapon? Okay, hold on. What if they did the alchemist job? And then what if they give the alchemist a blowgun weapon? I'm not sure I follow. Mr. Lizard? Nope, dwarf. Mr. Mandeville dwarf. Gotcha. Oh, that's right. The yokai event's coming up. The yokai event is it coming up or is it live? I think it's actually live. Yokai event is live. Wait, hold on. I can go do the Heaven's Ward. I can do the Heaven's Ward. Side of yokai. I can get Dark Knight and Astroglow. Oh, I already have Dark Knight and Astroglow. I can get Samurai and Red Mage. That's what I can. Ooh. Wasn't much to the conversation, just brainstorming. Ruth? Ruth? Yeah, I used to really like this outfit, but I just don't have anything to add it to. Popstar Thermora, unfortunately, continue to be a placeholder gleam, I suppose. Oh, God. Don't forget the stretch, chat. Don't forget the stretch. Oh! Oh, my God. Oh, God. Oh! Oh, that was a good one. No one hit the shrimp redeem, but that's okay. I untrimmed. Ow, God. Oh, crunchy. Oh, God. Oh. That was a good one. I swear to God. You sit at your computer for more than an hour, and you're completely curled up. Completely curled up. Exercising again. Need to start getting that movie? That body flowing. Gotta find that groove. What's better, a good stretch or a good pop in your neck? Oh my God. See, now we're getting into the real questions here. Oh my God, that is hard. That is really hard. Chat, what's better, a good pop in your neck or a good stretch? Like a good stretch. Yeah, you got some potential there. Like you've got, you know, the whole big stretch meme going on there. You can do that and then be like, okay, but I feel this with every instance of my body. But like, oh God, the sensation off of a good neck pop, right? You are literally popping off. Just, you feel it and it makes you want to, makes you want more. It's like that initial hit. I used to have a friend in middle school who was so disturbed by me popping my neck that she would call me a crackhead because I was constantly cracking my head. Maybe not like my actual head. Get the point. And it's like, man, why do we gotta put two bad bitches again? Like, these are both really, really good options. Although I guess if you have to say, a good full body stretch is probably healthier for you than constantly cricking your neck, you know? Like, if you're constantly cricking your neck, your posture's probably suffering for it. Whereas if you're just doing, like, a good full body stretch, you can do that, like, immediately after taking a well-earned nap. Fall asleep on the couch on a nice, sleepy Sunday. You'll wake up, you'll do a big stretch. And then you feel like $1,000,000. Although at the same time, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, because I have had instances where I woke up from a nap or woke up first thing in the morning. I tried the stretch, but I didn't like ease myself into it, and now I've got a Charlie horse in my calf and I'm fucking dying. Oof. That is so bad. Then again, oh God, there was an awkward point I think a couple months ago where I slept badly on my neck. That was painful. No neck popping for me. I had to like literally wait and massage the muscle going into the neck in order to get to a point where I could roll my neck around without pain. Awful. Absolutely awful. Finally home. Welcome home, Lucky. Do you want dinner, a bath, or to check out the rest of the VOD? I was trying to think of a way to like spin that where we can actually like be more gremlin though. So it's like, do you want week old dinner from the fridge? Do you want cold water shower, or do you want let's see, like the way that trope typically goes is bath, dinner, or me, because it's usually coming from like the partner. But then it's like, this is a stream. I don't know where I was going with that bit. I don't know where I was going with that bit, but like, welcome home. Hope you get some rest. Or you just wake up with lower back pain for some reason. Oh, if you're waking up with lower back pain, I think it's a posture thing. Most of the time, it's going to be a posture thing, and that's just not a great place to be. Most sleeping issues could end up being a posture thing. Some sleeping issues come from like sleeping on shit ass fucking couches. Oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like a folded couch, but like one of those, you know, couches that aren't really couches. They're more like beds that they have been folded up into a taco shell, and you just happen to like have a couch because of it. Futon, there we go, futon. That's what. Got one of those fold-out futons. Honestly, I got to a point where I wasn't even like pulling the futon out into like its full flat mattress. I was just sleeping in the little crevice. That was just like, just good. So good. There we go. Got away with murder. What plans do we have for tonight? What plans do you have for tonight, chat? I am thinking I'm probably heading out to the game shop tonight. It seems like it's cool enough. I want to listen to some more Stormlight Archives with my wife. I would like to, you know, take the car out and know that the car is good and that the car is not going to have its panic alarm constantly going off again. So maybe everything will be okay. I definitely want to go out and I want to play this. I don't get to play with my toys as often as I want. I've been talking about Blood Bowl for literally a week. You guys know that I'm obsessed with it, but I haven't had a chance to like show. It's been all tell, no show. Just kind of have to take my word for it. I'm painting little men and girls and monsters. I'm painting little guys. And I get to put them onto a football field and we get to, you know, pretend that they're throwing the ball to each other. It's great stuff. I love it. I love playing with toys and then playing pretend with rules. But I don't get to do it all that often because sometimes wife and the husband don't have the energy to play with me. And then I also need to go to a shop to play with other people because we got no room in our house. No room in our house whatsoever. Can't even get any terrain set up if we want to do a war game. The worst experience of s'mores I have is being at my aunt's place, cooking 3 marshmallows on a pitchfork, and me grabbing one that ended up sliding a bit, leading to my finger touching the metal. Ow! Ow! That sucks. That sucks. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Like, that's an awful thing to associate s'mores with. But also, like, I'll do you one better. I have burned myself plenty of times. I think one of the worst burns I ever got was when I went hiking with my father and my brother as part of my little brother's scout troop stuff. We went hiking through one of Ohio's valleys, back where they had, like, a lot of, mineral depots. And one of the things that we got to do was like we got to sit at the campfire, right? We got to sit at the campfire. We got to have s'mores. We got to have some good stuff. They brought, you know, all the hot dogs and stuff so we could do some daytime camping. I saw a piece of charcoal flying around, like not right next to the campfire, but like kind of close to the campfire. I should not have touched that charcoal. It was close enough to the campfire that it absorbed all the heat, and I grabbed that full fucker with my entire hand. It was awful. It was straight up awful. That was how I learned that charcoal is in fact incredibly conducive to heat. She might be dumb, sir. She might be dumb. She might in fact be an idiot. Only got like first flow going. Got first flow. What about second flow? While we're just like AFK'd at the Icebound Homelith. And every time I look over to my model, lagging because Frontlines just like apparently takes so much. I thought I had like a higher rated piece, but apparently not. Because I can't even run Monster Hunter. C'est la vie, I guess. Alright, we've got like 5 minutes to wrap things up here. So, like, I don't know if we're going to last that long on Frontlines. Might even go a little bit longer. But I am going to let you folks know, hey, we have a redeem called Lead the Raid. as you might imagine, it's always tough to try and find, you know, more people like us, more people that fit the vibe, more people that, you know, they're cool, they're queer, they're neurotypical. They're not neurotypical, they're neurodivergent, in fact. You know, as opposite to neurotypical as possible. Oh my god, I'm getting murdered. Actually, yep, I'm getting killed. I'm getting killed out there, but you can help me. You can help me by recommending some cool people to follow, cool people to lead the right into. Because if we don't, I will in fact just get ready into the same people. I don't really like raiding into people I'm not as familiar with. I want some vouching for them. Because there have been instances where I have raided into people that I thought looked cool, and then immediately it gets awkward real fucking fast. Like, you know, it doesn't even have to be like, you know, bad awkward. Just awkward. Hard to explain beyond that. Curiosity can also be a bitch. Because when I was in middle school, I went to also dealt with a daycare. I saw a hole in the wall down the hallway. I was curious what was behind that hole, so I put my finger in that hole, but I put in a bit too far and I got stuck, and the church had to call people to make the hole bigger and help get it out. Did you find the cat? Did you find the cat that went down with you into the curiosity hole? Because remember, curiosity might have killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. So as long as you were satisfied, it's fine. But it sounded like that was a fairly embarrassing scenario. Ooh, are we gonna get there? We're gonna get there? Are we gonna live? Nope, 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 nope. Damn it. Died, but like I went in, I took my shot. Hopefully my teammate will carry. Okay, we're getting close to the sure though. Got big ice. Got big ice. This was a good day though. It was Wednesday. It's a day that we just kind of like, you know, we chill out, stuff. We have our Wondrous Tales taken care of. So do we want to like just do a magic day tomorrow too? We might. Just that they can't do BG3. So maybe. If we go a little over, we're not gonna like lose out on it. I feel your curiosity has probably led you to look up things you regret. I mean, that's just the nature of curiosity, isn't it? Like, curiosity, as much as it is a virtue, is not going to always lead to things that are wonderful and mystical and enrich your life. Sometimes, in fact, curiosity will bring you to horrifying truths that you now have to reconcile and live with. Let me put it this way. Sometimes, you know, having short-term memory issues can be a boon. It usually isn't, but oh boy, when it is, it is. That's when we that's when we use Stay for Work Sasuke, or you know, the image of Roronoa Zoro going, nothing happened. Just got to do a little bit of repression there to survive the day. Which maybe it's not the healthiest coping mechanism. Whoever gets the jump. Oh dear. We can just like go yellow. Okay. Okay, okay. Let's kill this guy. I feel short-term memory in that case is a blessing. Yeah, yeah, that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Up, up, nope, nope, nope. Oh, I'm dead. Dead. I've survived. I survived. I'm unkillable. Holy shit. We lived just barely. Match back up with the clan. We're so close. So close. Just gotta dive in. Dive, 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 dive. Up, and there's the alarm going off too. There's the alarm going off, so like I'm gonna have to literally hit pause and then watch my model go at evil. By which I mean like just go completely off base. Oh nope, we're caught between a rock and a hard place. We're being invaded, actually. We're running. We're sprinting. We just need to get our big ice, and then we're good. We win. Most awkward thing I could say that will make you feel the awkwardness is I had my dad walk in on me talking to myself. Okay, but like, and that might be a little awkward, but you're also talking to someone who's plural, so it's like that's actually kind of the norm. That is literally that's literally what I do. You want to talk about small and awkward? I sing to my food. I sing to my food, I talk to it, I chide it. I say, oh, that's right, you like having the butter spread, don't you? And I say shit like that. And you know what? We call that whimsy. That's what we do. We call it whimsy. Also, we got the win. Excellent. Holy shit. Go ahead and check the PvP profile real quick. See. You're like so close. More levels and then we're done with. Love to see it. In the meantime, I'm actually gonna start. Gotta end things there. We gotta end things there, folks. If you've been hanging out on the YouTube side, thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a like on the stream. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and tell people about the stream if you think they'll enjoy it. We're gonna go ahead and end this on the YouTube side there, the loop, and then over on the Twitch side, we are gonna go ahead and raid on out. Raid into. I don't remember seeing anyone